Hey there, I'm Sarita. You're about to experience the modern approach to well-being where you get to establish the best and most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. I'm on a mission to help 100,000 women just like you declutter energy and reclaim your power in order to manifest your best life. If you're looking for the optimal blend of mindset and healing, you are in the right place. My goal in this podcast is to share tools, resources, and practices that will help you along your healing journey. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So welcome to Back to Center with Sarita. Let's get started. Hello, love, and welcome back. This is my second official episode. I'm your host, Sarita, and also the owner of my business called Sarita Wellness. And I am so happy that you're here listening to this podcast. And I forgot to say in my last episode, happy 2023. Can you believe that it's a new year already? I'm still getting used to writing and typing out 2023. And I mean, I remember when it was 2003. And I may be dating myself a little bit there. But it's crazy how time flies. So today I wanted to share with you a practice that I have been doing for the last 3 years of my life, which actually helps me be so much more clear on exactly where I am in the new year. So I feel traditionally, when people start the new year with resolutions and goals, they miss out on a huge part of the process. So traditional goal setting is like more of a masculine way, like the route of setting goals. We're taught to set a goal and then work until we make it to that larger goal, right? So recently, like goal changing, if you're in the personal development spaces like I am, recently goal setting has been broken down into like reverse engineering your goals. So creating like strategies and tactics that are simple and totally achievable. And I absolutely love this because it's like looking at each step instead of the whole staircase. So instead of looking at like the whole staircase, you're looking at each individual little step. So it's not so overwhelming. And the part that I find that people are missing out on is actually like where you are in this moment. So I got this analogy not too long ago, so this is not my original analogy, but I love it because it just explained it so perfectly, is that, so it's about a GPS. So let's say that you want direction somewhere. And in order for the GPS or the map on your phone to tell you where to go, it really needs to know where you are right now. And if you don't know where you are right now, you really don't know where you're going. And so you'll just be like this wave. You'll be on this wave, like floating in the ocean. And you don't really care like where you're going at all. It's just like you're letting the water and the wave carry you to whatever direction without you really even knowing like where that's going to take you. So why this is important, it's good to get clear on where you are right now so you can get a better sense of where you're going. So let me give you some examples here because it totally makes sense in like logic, right? Like you need to know where you're going. So let's say you have a goal that you want to lose 15 pounds. So in order to lose the 15 pounds, you probably need to have a pretty clear sense of how much you weigh in the moment, right? Or have a clear sense of knowing that you're like overweight for your body. So you have that clarity, you have that sense of knowing. And let's do another example. So it same goes like if you want to take a trip to Europe this year, like that's your goal, that you want to take a trip to Europe. You probably need to have a good idea of like when you'll be taking the trip, how much the plane tickets are, where you'll be staying, checking your finances in order to see if you can actually do it, whom you'll be traveling with, etc., etc. So that's the kind of more like logical way of thinking about it. On a deeper level, like more of a spiritual healing level, if you desire to cultivate like maybe a more loving relationship with your partner, you need to check the relationship with yourself first, right? In order to know how you're showing up in that relationship. The relationship with yourself reflects how you are having relationships with other people. Again, really focusing on and knowing where you are in this moment. And the best way to do this is reflecting on a period of time. So this process is really reflecting on a period of time. And that is why my journal prompts to reflect on 2022 are really powerful, which I will talk about in just a minute. But here I wanted to suggest or recommend 2 really powerful questions that you can ask yourself in this moment, or you can go ahead and just, pause this podcast recording and write these down so you can come back to them. Question number 1. What are you leaving behind in 2022? Meaning, what served you, what didn't serve you? And I find that the best way to figure this out is through like bullet point experiences, just kind of like brain dump all the things that have occurred this year. And if you are needing like some memory triggers, I find that going through social media posts or pictures on your phone are really, really helpful. So, or if you're the type of person, which I've gotten into the practice of doing for the last 2 years, is periodically writing things down throughout the year. So then when I go through this process, it's a lot easier and I can like refer to it. So I want to share for me, my big aha moment for this question of what are you leaving behind in 2022? Meaning what served you and what didn't serve you. For me, the biggest realization that I had for 2022 that I realized it was like a pattern, a program pattern, was that this constant need for approval and validation. Oh my gosh, it really showed up a lot in the last 3 months. And because this is such a big epiphany for me, and because I've talked about in my last episode and in the bonus episodes, if you haven't had a chance to go back and listen to those, I talk about being a people pleaser and a controller. Because this is such a big epiphany for me, I'm going to go do a whole podcast episode on this. But for now, I just wanted to share a little bit. I realized that I've been carrying this energy with me for such a long time. And honestly, it's been weighing me the fuck down. I didn't even realize it, but it's been weighing me down. And in fact, it's really, really exhausting energy, constantly needing approval and validation. And if it hadn't been for those journal prompts that I do, which I'm going to share with you the link so you can get that. If it wasn't for the journal prompts that I completed reflecting on 2022, this would have never come up. Honestly, it would have never come up. Second question that you can ask yourself is, what am I going to be more intentional about this year? So from the lessons that you've learned, basically, the list that you've made and the takeaways that you've had and finding out what serves you and doesn't serve you, what are you deciding to put more energy into this year? What are you investing your time, money, energy into this year? Intentionality comes from an energy. So when you're intentional about something, it gives it so much more of a powerful energy. So for me, it's confidence and action. I spent the last 1.5 years, so that's about since I broke up my relationship, the last 1.5 years destroying an outdated foundation. I like to compare it to a software that I was programmed with that was so old that I needed to just completely toss it. And it's one of those things that takes a long time. So 1.5 years of really deconstructing the whole foundation and revamping the whole thing. So now I've spent a lot of energy reconstructing a new foundation. And I'm so grounded now, finally, that I know that execution mode is what I need and what I desire. And so that will be through the actions of confidence and action. And just to let you know, like when you are reflecting on your year, and also when it comes to the question of like intentionality, it's important to be very, very specific. I've learned through a lot of reprogramming that our subconscious can get on board with our quote unquote new ways of being when we have specificity. So specificity is really great here. So be really specific when it comes to your intentions, like when you're scripting, because the experience that you desire to feel, like with your intentions, really, really helps to solidify it in your mind so that it can be created into your reality. So these two questions are great to ask yourself, and I can review the questions real quick again. So the first question is, what are you leaving behind in 2022? Meaning what served you and didn't serve you. And then what am I going to be more intentional about this year? These two questions are great to ask yourself after you've completed my journaling to review 2022, which, by the way, you can purchase in my bio on my Instagram handle at Sarita Wellness, and I will be dropping the link in the show notes below. So reflecting on the last year can be so powerful because it really shows you what you don't want to bring into this year, right? And so for me, like this constant need for validation, I'm like, heck no, I do not want to bring that into my 2023 energy, right? Like this is big, bad girl energy in 2023. And the woman, the Sarita, does not operate from a place of needing validation. And if you're thinking, oh my God, it's like too late, it's almost the end of January, and it's almost over, it's too late to reflect on this last year, it is never too late. Honestly, it is never too late to get clear on your emotional location. Never. In fact, this practice is really phenomenal to do like every 90 days. And I just say 90 days because it's a good chunk of time when you can actually see results happen. Like when you think of like workout programs, a lot of them recommend, doing a 90-day program because that's when you can actually see the results. But if you're the type of person that likes to do things in a larger chunk of time, that's totally fine. You can do this practice every 6 months, or if you just want to maintain the every year. I just want to point out one of the things that I tell my clients is that the most successful people in this world track their progress. Meaning, most successful people track their progress on a daily basis. They check in the morning and they check out at night, right? It's kind of like quick little journal prompts that they complete every single night. And it's a great way to just kind of highlight like the highs and lows and what my takeaways are for the day. If that's a little too much for you at this time and you're new to personal development, healing, and spirituality, totally understand. I would start with this journal prompts that I have. And again, they'll be in the show notes. It is an amazing way for you to just see how much you have changed and how much you've manifested and how much of a badass human you are, right? Like, who doesn't love that? And also one of the things is after you complete this process and you see like the things that you've gone through, I would just take a moment to celebrate yourself, however that looks like for you. If it's, giving yourself a great hot bath or cooking yourself a really nice meal, or if it's taking yourself out to buy something new, do that for you because this process is pretty deep. It really is. Okay, loves, that concludes our episode. I hope these questions were helpful for you. And please, by all means, send me an email with what came up for you. And you can always email me at info@Sarita Wellness with your results. Or you can always take a screenshot of this episode and tag me on Instagram or Facebook and share. Okay, love, bye for now and make today a wonderful day. And in the meantime, as always, keep being the amazing you that you are. Hey, love, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you adored what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you took a moment to leave a review on the platform you are listening to this episode on. By doing this, you are helping my mission to impact other women with their healing journeys. If you aren't already following me on social media, make sure to connect with me at Sarita Wellness to get your weekly dose of inspiration. I can't wait to be with you in the next episode, but in the meantime, keep being the amazing you that you are.